man. NBA MVP 2022-23. Before we jump into this, I got a video specially made for you. You hear me, dog? Let me.
Oh God. Oh my God.
Let me get it right.
Half remaining. This is the first game of our doubleheader. Clippers and Warriors next. Doncic sees an opening, goes inside. Blocked by Tatum. Jaylen Brown for three.
Oh yeah.
Sequence for the Celtics to go back up by 17.
Mike, we were talking about the defense of Jason Tatum in
Watch
the
this
first
right
half.
here.
Looks like Luka has a step.
I pulled that clip specially for you, man, because are these two guys MVP candidates for sure? You see what I'm saying? But that is the epitome of what one can do and what the other one can't. Play defense. Somehow in this league now, probably because of Steph Curry, he's made us romanticize about just offense to another degree that defense doesn't matter no more. But guys that are considered GOATs are typically what? Two-way players, right? They typically probably have multiple all defensive teams. If we look at the Kobe's of the world, we look at the Jordans of the world, we look at the LeBrons of the world, what do they all have? All team NBA, all team defense. Do you ever believe Luka achieves one of those? Let's start right there. Yeah. Do you believe he actually obtained one of those?
Yo, you a funny cat, bro. You a real funny dude.
Hey, I had to set this one up for you, dog.
No, I don't. That's a loaded question, but no, I don't. And he knew that I have to be honest to my basketball brain. So no, I don't think he achieved.
All right, man. So what about the MVP, man? How do you feel about it? Do you feel? I know Tatum plays for your squad. I know you've been telling me you're not a Luka enthusiast, but it seems like you are. But that may just be due to my enthusiasm over Tatum. So how does it sit? Do you think they're the two front runners, or do you see somebody like a D-Book, Joel Embiid, Jokic coming behind it and stealing it, or Giannis?
Yeah, I mean, until Luka figures out the aspect of winning, I'm gonna keep the same energy that I always kept. Mainly because, look, bro, like I don't love Luka enough to move the goalpost. When you're flirting with 500, flirting below 500, flirting with being in and out of the playoffs every 2 to 3 days,
right?
Yeah, that's not acceptable, bro. You know what I'm saying? And so, individually, if this were just about one player's performance, I think Luka would be still my top candidate for MVP. I mean, I think with all the stuff that he has to do.
I feel
but
that.
Because it's about not just your individual performance, how you got to lead a team, I think he's out of the running at this point in time until he gets that situation fixed. Mm-hmm. With that being said, I think a dude like D-Book should be closer to Tatum. I think depending on how much the Warriors continue to improve, Steph Curry is somebody we should continue to watch out for if they find out that they get that together. I think Joel Embiid is in the same space as Luka, so he's kind of have to be out of there.
Yeah.
So I think as the more that we go, it's Tatum's MVP to lose. It's Tatum's MVP to lose, bro. It has to be. He's got to remain healthy. The Celtics have to keep winning, and he has to continue to be the catalyst for that. But I think he has a firm grasp on it. If he loses it, that's because his performance dipped, not because anybody came and took it from him.
Okay, that's a pretty interesting. I'm not gonna go as far as saying it's Tatum to lose, because Tatum, I think Tatum, bro. I'm not gonna say Tatum's underrated. I don't believe that. I think Tatum is fighting an uphill battle because one, his situation makes a lot. I think it makes a lot of the voters look at the MVP a different way. You know what I mean? His situation, what I mean by situation, his team is nice. He got another guy that's considerably probably a top 15 guy, JB, right? I think that's going to weigh a lot on people. And then it's other guys' games or just names that they just seem to love more, like a Luka. He's probably been the favorite MVP, like the favorite for MVP coming in for like the last 3 seasons, right? He hasn't won it, but yet he still's always the favorite. Then you have like the Jazz of the world, the Zions, where their games or just their names are more box office, technically probably not even better than Tatum, but You know, if they dunking, they getting certain blocks. You know, they doing certain things. You know, it tends to kind of make it easier for them. And honestly, I honestly love. I think Tatum game next to probably like the Kyrie and KD. I probably won't prefer anybody else's game over his game right now. Like just watchability. I don't think if you can go with Ja if that's your style, but I need my guy to be able to be a assassin behind the arc. And Ja's not that. And cause Tatum, he can go bang in traffic. You know what I'm saying? Like he can catch bodies. He got a handle that's like that now. And his shot always been like that. And KD and Kyrie, they check off all them boxes on the offense. Steph Curry for sure. You can throw him in there. I know when you doing these pods, you get to forgetting cats. Dame at a certain prime peak premium package. He could be in that bag. But I think I'm gonna have to go with KD and Kyrie, considerably the only guys I may take over Tatum game right now. But yeah, back to the MVP talk, dog. I think Tatum will end up being the MVP. I think as long as they have best, I think he gonna have to have the best record in the league. I want to say it can't be like him finishing anything. I couldn't see him winning anything behind the best record or second seed out the whole, like the second best record out the whole league. I always have to give credence and honor to like Giannis. I think year in and year out, he's always going to be in there, and you just never know. Chris Middleton just came back, so I think they're going to be definitely back in the talks of having best record. And outside of them too, man, yeah, I just don't think Luka's going to win enough games to be there. Performance-wise, like you said, if it was solely off of that, definitely a top candidate. But I don't see them winning enough. Jokic and Book maybe outside of them two, Giannis and Tate. I think Jokic and Book gonna be the other two guys I would firmly consider. You know what I'm saying?
So there's a reason why I didn't name Giannis, and there's a reason why I didn't name Jokic when we asked this question specifically, because what I've seen throughout the NBA is voter fatigue is real, right? To me, the way that you have to be, you almost got to be a LeBron character to win more than two. After you win two, the way the voters see you begins to change. The way the league sees you begins to change. And they begin to take your talents for granted because it's like, oh, yeah, we've seen this already. We already gave you two MVPs. Move along. Yeah. If you're not Braun, if you're not on that level, they don't really keep rocking with you after two MVPs. So the reason why I'm confident to say that this Tatum's to lose is because like they've gave Giannis, his MVP. They gave him his Defensive Player of the Year. They gave Jokic two. Those two dudes are going to have a real uphill battle to take it from Tatum at this point. A dude like Booker, though, maybe. Mm-hmm. Luka, if he starts winning, maybe. But I think voters go, come on, man. We did that. Let's give it to somebody new. When you think about MVP voting.
No, that's pretty on point. Voters fatigue definitely is a real thing. You do definitely have to be at a level of, the Brons of the world, Jordans, and it has to be almost convincingly. You know what I mean? Steph Curry, I think he may be one of the people that probably could have defied the whole voters fatigue just because he's so likable. And
I agree.
You know what I mean? He was pretty much the guy that supposed to be the next face. He probably still is the face, but I think him losing that 3-1 league in the finals definitely kind of tainted or delayed it. But I think he would have been one of those guys that would have defied that for sure. So, yeah, man, MVPs, I think it's going to be – I don't see – if Tatum wins it, I don't see him just running away with it. I think it's always going to be somebody like shifting between 2 and 3. They maybe even get up to 1. He may fall, get back. I think it's going to be that kind of situation. You know what I'm saying? Like where every game at the end of the season going to count.